The War Written in Ink, a werewolf story. Synopsis. She just wanted to go to college like everyone else. Calla was happy with her books, coffee, and little sister. But when a pen passed between her hands in psychology class, everything changed for her. He is an alpha who doesn't have a mate, until now. Jackson has been waiting, longing for the one scent that would bring his wolf to life. No matter what, he will find her when a simple pen brings her scent into his world. Not even the fact that she's a person and has no idea what kind of supernatural world she's about to enter. As sparks fly and secrets come to light, Calla must face a truth that is darker than she thought: she is not just his mate. She could be the key to a war that is starting in the shadows. Episode 1. Ouch! 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 I yelped, hurrying across the coffee shop with a tray of freshly baked scones. They were still way too hot, but I couldn't wait any longer to get them into the display case. Now, my fingertips were paying the price, pink and stinging. "You should have waited, Calla," Natalie said from behind the counter, giving me a knowing look. She's been at Steamy Bean Cafe about as long as I have, 2 years now, and I love it when we're on shift together. Over time, she's become one of my closest friends. I muttered under my breath as I rushed to the sink. Patience has never been my thing. Cool water rushed over my hands, soothing the burn and bringing my fingers back to life. Glanced at the clock. My shift was almost over, and I needed to get moving. In just a few hours, I'd be starting my first day at Redwood Valley College. Nerves fluttered in my stomach, but excitement bubbled just beneath. I've always loved learning, soaking up every bit of knowledge like a sponge, and I couldn't wait to dive in. The doorbell rings, letting me know that a new customer has come in. I quickly dry my hands and walk over to the register to get their order. I say goodbye to Natalie and Jet, the shop owner, after another half hour. He is always there, usually in the back of the store in his small office, doing paperwork. I get a to-go cup, fill it with coffee, and add some cream and sugar. I have to admit that I am addicted to caffeine. I get terrible headaches if I don't drink coffee every day. And it tastes so good, so why should I stop drinking it? The warm coffee really helps because it takes away the slight chill in the air in the fall. August is cool in Ohio, which is still something I'm not used to. I moved to Redwood, Ohio, almost 6 years ago with my mom from Alaska. The cold weather still seems strange to me. I don't know if I'll ever get used to it at this point. There are times when I miss Alaska. I lost some friends when I moved. We tried to stay in touch, but it's hard to stay close friends when you live hundreds of miles away, and I eventually lost touch with all of them. But the move had to happen. I'll just deal with it and walk faster. As soon as I walk into the warm house, I sigh in relief and take off my fake Ugg boots and jacket. "Mom, Maisie, I'm home!" I scream. I can hear my little sister's light footsteps and a high-pitched squeal. In 3, 2, 1, she's going to hit me. "Calla," my Maisie yells excitedly as she runs into my thighs. I asked her, "Hey, Em. How has your day been so far?" as I picked her up and put her on my right hip. I kept walking through the house until I got to the kitchen, where I saw my mom. I smiled at her and hugged her with my left arm while saying, "Hey, Mom. Hey, Maisie, Do you want to tell Kala what we did this morning? Maisie laughed at me and played with my messy blonde hair from work. Ooh! Kala, we made dinner. I raised an eyebrow at what she said. I asked, do you mean you made breakfast with mommy? She shook her head very quickly from side to side. Nope. Mommy and I made dinner in the pot, she said. My mom and I laughed so hard at her answer. I was laughing so hard that I had to put Maisie down so I wouldn't drop her. We still couldn't catch our breath after a whole minute. I thought I was done laughing, but then I saw my mom and started laughing again. After another minute, I finally stopped laughing and turned my attention back to Maisie, who was very confused about why we were laughing. I said, Maisie, I think you mean you made dinner in the crock pot. I laughed a little and glanced at my mom, who was watching us with amusement. Maisie said, yes, that's what I said. I smiled at her. She was so cute and full of attitude. I can't wait to see how she is in 10 years. What did you two make? This time, my mom picked me up. We made a pot roast with potatoes and carrots. I also have some garlic bread that you'll just have to throw in the oven. I have to leave for work at 4:30 and won't be back until late, but you won't have to cook at all. It should be ready by 6. Thanks, Mom. Where are you going today? I'm going to Brazil and stopping in Colorado on the way back. Do you want any souvenirs? My mom works as a flight attendant, so she goes to a lot of places. She only works 3 to 4 days a week, so she is often there for Maisie. I help take care of Maisie when I can, but it's going to be hard now that I'm going to school and working part-time at Steamy Bean Cafe. Mom doesn't want me to work at all, but she won't admit that she needs my help with the bills. Things have been tough since Dad left and we only have one income. When my mom was 8 months pregnant with Maisie, my jerk of a father left us high and dry and never came back. He owned his own business, but I don't know what it was. When he left, it hurt our family both financially and emotionally. We don't need him, though. I'll take a snow globe from Colorado. I think I already have one from Brazil, I said with a smile. My mom always brought back things from her trips. I have a lot of snow globes from different states and countries that she has flown to. I haven't been to any of them yet, but maybe one day. There are little pieces of the world all over my bedroom right now. They are on my desk, bookshelf, dresser, and even on the shelves in my closet. I have to get ready for class. It's my first day. I jump up and down with excitement, and my mom just laughs at how eager I am. She says with a proud smile, I'm so happy for you, honey. I smile back and then look at Maisie. Want to help me pick out my outfit for my first day? All I heard was screaming, but the way she grabbed my hand and led me to my room made me think it was a happy scream. I had a new outfit on, and my hair and makeup were done for the day an hour later. My hair was down in its natural waves, and my makeup was light but still easy to see. Maisie wanted me to wear a red polka dot skirt and a purple tank top, but we agreed that I would wear a black skirt that flowed out and ended mid-thigh instead. It's not too much, but it's still cute. Maisie and I walked down the hall holding hands. When we got back to the living room, my mom was sitting in the corner of the couch with a new book. What book is that? I asked her. She must have been scared because she jumped a little, and her reading glasses fell off her face and onto her lap. She told me she was reading Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens after she complained that I always scared her. Finally. I've been telling you to read that book for months, I said as I sat down with Maisie between me and my mom. We talked about her theories about books and kept Maisie busy until it was time for me to leave for my first class. My mom gave me my backpack and said, "Bye, sweetie. Have a great first day. Go learn some stuff." "Bye, sweetie," Maisie said, copying my mom. I laughed to myself because she always said the cutest things. I hugged them both goodbye and then set off for Redwood Valley College, feeling both excited and scared about what was to come. I was a bundle of nerves when I got to campus. I was both excited and nervous, but the nerves won when I got to campus. I took out my phone and looked up my schedule to find out what room I was in. I know I've checked 50 times already, but I had to check again because who knows, maybe the numbers changed in the 10 minutes since I left my house. They didn't. At 2:05 p.m., I still had Introduction to Psychology with Professor Meredith Shaw. Room 207 in the Psychology Building. Wow, they tell you a lot. As I got closer to the Psychology Building, I kept going over the information in my head so I wouldn't forget it and have to pull my phone out of my pocket again. I need to get used to this building because I'll probably be here a lot over the next 4 years. I want to be a social worker when I grow up so I can help kids who are neglected or abused by their families. That's why I'm majoring in psychology. My dad, Father of the Year, has made me feel like I can understand kids in those situations and really help them. After I go up a flight of stairs, I walk down the hallway. 203, 205, and 207. I look at my watch and see that I have 15 minutes to spare before class, so I go in anyway. The room is a lecture hall with enough seats for more than 100 students. Some students are already sitting down, so I sit down 3 seats down from a girl who looks friendly near the front of the room. I sit close enough to her that she could easily talk to me if she wanted to, but I'm far enough away that I won't bother her if she wants to be alone. I'm more of an introvert, but I'm really nice. I don't usually talk to strangers, but if someone comes up to me and starts talking, I'll be happy to talk to them. The girl is either an introvert like me or she's just too into her phone to notice what's going on around her. The professor writes her name and the course code on the board after 15 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to see so many of you here today. This is Introduction to Psychology with me, Professor Meredith Shaw. If that isn't on your schedule, you're not in the right class. The professor waited a few moments to give anyone who accidentally walked into the wrong class a chance to leave. Professor Shaw lets out a dramatic sigh when no one else moves to leave. Good. That one person who is in the wrong class is always so embarrassed. Everyone in the class, including me, laughs at what she said. I already know I'm going to enjoy this class. The professor talks about the syllabus and then says that she will go over the assignments for the class and then start teaching Chapter 1. Of course, I'm already writing down the syllabus. I turn to a new page in my notebook and start writing down what is on the PowerPoint when she finally starts teaching the actual course material. My pen runs out of ink about 2 minutes into the lecture. I shake my pen in a last-ditch effort to get rid of any ink that isn't there, but it doesn't work. I take a deep breath and throw the pen down on my desk as I look for a new one. Of course, I only packed one pen with all the school supplies I packed. I'm really angry with myself. I keep looking in the small pocket of my bag, hoping a pen will magically show up. I feel a poke on my shoulder, and when I turn around, I see a guy with a smile on his face holding out a pen. He has curly brown hair and warm brown eyes that make me want to be with him right away. I smile back at him and say thank you with my mouth as I gratefully take the pen and keep writing down what the teacher says. I write faster than I ever have before during the hour, and I can rest my hand while we watch some videos. I put my elbow on the desk and lean forward, putting the pen to my lips. In the middle of the second video, I realize that this isn't my pen and I shouldn't be putting my mouth on it. I hope the nice stranger didn't see. I pack up everything but my pen and turn around in my seat when class is over. I'm glad to see that the guy is still behind me. He gets up to leave, and I, being the best talker in the world, yell, "Wait!" The guy is on edge right away and turns to me, ready to fight the threat he thinks is there. When the few stragglers stare at me and wonder why I just yelled, I feel embarrassed. "I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you your pen back." I smiled shyly at him, feeling embarrassed by the attention. He laughs back at me, takes the pen, and puts it in his front pocket so he doesn't have to open his bag again. Not a problem. I walk home after class and say goodbye to my mom. I stop for coffee on the way. Maisie and I spend the rest of the day and night together. We eat the pot roast, color, bake brownies, and read a bedtime story. By 9, she is asleep, and I can read a new book I just bought from the bookstore across the street from the cafe. I stay up until my mom gets home, say good night to her, and then get ready for bed so I can get up early tomorrow. Oh my God! If he asks me one more time where his friend is, "Jackson, have you heard from Skyla?" my beta Ezra links me again. This is the 12th time in the last 20 minutes. I suddenly get up from my chair, not even caring that it hit the wall with a loud bang that the whole pack house could hear. I run down the 2 flights of stairs to the front door of the house, where I find Ezra pacing back and forth. "Ezra, you need to calm down," I said to try to ease his fears. "I don't do a good job of comforting people, but I'll do my best for my best friend and second in command. He should be back by now. His last class ended at 5, and it's 5:45. He's not answering his phone or the mind link." I put my hand on Ezra's shoulder and lightly squeezed it to get him to stop pacing, which seemed to make him even more stressed. He closed his eyes and pulled on the strands of his dirty blonde hair with his fingers. His wolf's eye color was changing from green to dark green, which is the color of his wolf's eyes. This made me think that his wolf was trying to take control. "He's fine, I'm sure." Knowing Skyla, he probably just got sidetracked by something and I heard footsteps on gravel and smelled Skylar's scent. I could see Ezra relax and rush to open the door. Skyla was on the other side, holding a coffee in his right hand and his backpack on his back. When he saw Ezra standing there, his brown eyes lit up, at least the ones that weren't covered by the brown curly mop on his head. "Hey, Ezra." "I missed Ugh," Skyla groaned as Ezra hugged him so tightly that it hurt. I'm sure some of his bones would have broken if he weren't a werewolf. Hey, be careful with the coffee, he said as he let go of the hug and smiled at his friend. Where were you? I was trying to mind link you and I apologize. After class, I went to this cute little coffee shop and talked to an employee about their coffee. I lost track of time. I'm sorry for worrying you, Skyla said to Ezra. Ezra put his hands on Skylar's cheeks and kissed him quickly in response. I turned away to give them some space, but after 10 seconds, I had to tell them to stop kissing by the front door. Okay, that's enough. Get a room, I said with a smirk. I was glad they got together. They were friends, like soulmates. The moon goddess finds the perfect match for each werewolf. Most werewolves find their mates when they are 16, but I'm almost 23 and I still haven't found mine. My other half and I lay awake at night dreaming about her. I wonder what she looks like, smells like, and likes to do. Will she love me as much as I love her? I'm afraid something has happened to her. What if she died? Or what if the moon goddess doesn't think I deserve a partner and is making me live a loveless life full of pointless one-night stands? Ezra lightly punches me in the arm, then takes Skylar's bag off his shoulders and holds it for him. I'm going to the kitchen right now to see how dinner is coming along. They walk there hand in hand. A few of my pack mates are walking around on the first floor. They all bow their heads a little and say alpha to me as a sign of respect. I nod my head at each one of them to show that I respect them. I go back to the kitchen table to sit with Ezra and Skyla after checking on the food, which smells great. I ask Skyla, how was your first day of college? He turns to me with excitement and moves closer to tell me all about his classes. When he pushes his chair forward, I smell something strange, like roses and honey, that wakes up my wolf side right away. The smell is so sweet and makes you feel good. I lean into Skyla to see where the smell is coming from, and my eyes get bigger, and my body gets stiff. I quickly find the source, a simple ballpoint pen in his shirt pocket. I take the pen away from him and put it to my nose. The smell is faint, but it's the sweetest thing I've ever smelled, and I know right away that it belongs to my friend. In a matter of seconds, I have Skyla pinned to the wall without really thinking about it. My human side gives way to my inner wolf. I held his neck tightly with my hand and waited for him to give in and tell me what he knew. I immediately growl at Skyla, where did you get this pen? Skyla is no longer Skyla, he is now the thing that stands between me and my friend. Ezra grabs my shoulder and pushes me away from Skyla, who is now holding his neck with his hand and catching his breath. Ezra yells in my face, "What are you doing with your hands on my mate?" He is standing right in front of Skyla in a protective stance. Werewolves are very protective, but as an alpha, I am even more so than most. My beta is the only one who can beat me. I scream back at him, what I want to know is why Skyla smells like my friend. Skyla steps in between us and talks us out of a fight just before I lose my temper. Yes, that was me holding back. Calm down, both of you. Jackson, I don't know who your friend is, but if the pen smells like her, I know what she looks like. She's in my psych class. Her pen ran out of ink, so I gave her mine to use for the lecture and then she gave it back to me. That was the extent of our interaction, Skyla said calmly. Bring me to her, I told him. Skyla shook his head a little. Alpha, she's a person, he said. Those words hurt me. Not because she has to be a werewolf, she's perfect the way she is, but because she doesn't know anything about mates, werewolves, or alphas. I know she's my other half, but she won't feel the same pull I do. I will have to win her over slowly, which will take a lot of time and be a lot slower than I had hoped it would be. Most wolf mates would just walk up to each other and kiss, but I couldn't do that. Some of the other wolves in my pack have human mates. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. I guess I'll have to act like a person for a while until I can get her to believe I'm hers. Because I already own her. Kala's point of view. I rub my hands up and down my arms as I walked to psychology this morning. I thought that a long-sleeved sweater would be enough to keep me warm, but as soon as I went outside, I knew I would be cold all day. I didn't have time to go back and change, so I rubbed my hands up and down my arms to keep warm. It was very cold today, and as I walked to class for the third day of college, I saw that everyone else was wearing at least a coat. Some people even had beanies and scarves on. At least I'm in jeans. When I got to psychology, I felt like a frozen popsicle. The heat from the building rushed through me and made me feel warm all over. I rubbed my hands together to get the blood flowing back into my fingers. I got to the lecture hall 10 minutes before class started, so there were more people there than there were on my first day, which was Monday. I had biology and calculus yesterday, and they were so boring that I almost fell asleep. We hope that we start learning more interesting things in those classes. I looked around for an empty seat as soon as I walked into the room. I wanted to sit down without looking antisocial but still be a part of the crowd. But when I saw a familiar face waving at me, I couldn't help but smile a little. The guy who gave me his pen was the one who did it. I walked down the aisles until I got to his. He patted the seat next to him when I got closer, so I sat there. He had on a long-sleeved shirt, jeans, and a black beanie on his head. When I realized I didn't even know his name, I joked, "Hey, pen guy." He gasped loudly and put a hand over his heart. He smiled and said, "I'm so hurt. After I saved you in this class, all I get is a hey?" I was at least expecting money or coffee. I lightly punched him in the shoulder, and he fell out of his chair and lay on the floor. Everyone in the lecture hall turned around and stopped talking to look at the guy who was making a scene. "Oh my God! And you're violent? What did I ever do to you?" he yelled at me in a joking way, or at least I think he was joking. I did not hit him hard enough to make him fall to the ground. I whispered, "Crap, sit down. People are staring." He got up from the floor and leaned down to whisper in my ear, "I'll stop if you promise to do me a favor." "A favor? Hot guys only want favors, and I am not going to do that." "No. I don't even know you. Now stop making a scene." The teacher came in through the side door and started getting ready for the lecture just as he was about to answer. When I looked into his eyes, he smiled wickedly. He took a deep breath and was about to yell at me again, but I quickly stood up and put my hand over his mouth to stop him from making any noise. "Fine. Fine, but you have to stop talking right now," I said quickly, hoping he wouldn't keep drawing attention to himself. I hated being around a lot of people, so I did everything I could to avoid it. Pen guy smiled at me, and I could see 2 cute dimples on his cheeks. It almost made me forget that I had just agreed to help him. Great! By the way, what's your name? He asked me as he held out his hand for me to shake. Kala. And you? I can't call you pen guy for the rest of the semester, I say, and he laughs so hard that he rolls his head back. That's right. I'm Skyla. When the lecture starts, I take my notebook and a pen out of my backpack. I packed at least 2 extras so that what happened last time wouldn't happen again. Skyla drops 20 loose pens on my desk while I'm writing. Some of them land on my lap, and some of them clang on the floor and make noise around the room. The students in front of us turn their heads to give me a mean look, and the teacher stops talking for a moment before starting again. Skyla shrugs his shoulders and gives me a look that says, "What can you do?" What? I want to be a good friend and make sure you have all the pens you'll need. I shake my head and say something about how annoying he is while I pick up the pens and put them in the front pocket of my backpack. Even though I looked annoyed and embarrassed on the outside, I secretly like Skylar's sense of humor. I hope we can be friends. I pack up my bag and say goodbye to Skyla when the lecture is over. I'm going to face the storm again. Okay, I'm being a little over the top, but it is really cold outside. Skyla grabs my hand and pulls me along the sidewalk with him as I walk outside and start my walk home. Skyla? What are you doing? He said, "You're doing me a favor, silly," and pulled me harder. I started to breathe faster and quickly pulled my hand away from his and started to back away from him. No, I don't want to. I won't. Skyla turned back to me and scrunched up his eyebrows. He walked up to me slowly, like he was trying to calm down a scared dog. I was just going to take you with me to get coffee. My mouth dropped open. Oh, how wrong had I been? What did you think I owe? Oh my God, Kala. Did you think I was trying to? And then he laughed in my face. Not just a little laugh, this was a full-blown cackle that once again drew unwanted attention to me. He wiped the tears from his eyes when he was finally able to breathe. Oh my God, I haven't laughed that hard in a while. Kala, I'm gay. Very, very gay and in a committed relationship with my boyfriend. How could I not have known? I'm so ashamed. Am I really that full of myself to think he wanted to sleep with me? I'm promising myself that I won't make any more assumptions about what guys want from me. Skyla kept talking even though I was standing there like a speechless mess of a person. My boyfriend was worried that I wouldn't make any friends at school, and since he doesn't go to college, he kept nagging me about letting him take me to classes. To get him to shut up, I told him that I already made a friend and that I would invite her to get coffee with me. He's also bringing another friend of his. I smiled at how cute they were together. His boyfriend must be really nice. Well, I'd be happy to be your fake friend, I said, a little disappointed that he only wanted to take me to prove something to his boyfriend. You're already my best friend here. You're not getting rid of me now. What if I need a pen? He said with a smirk, and I laughed. When he told me we were meeting at cafe, I perked up and told him I worked there and loved coffee. It seems he was just as obsessed as I was. On the way to the cafe, I told him about all the different drinks they had and some secret menu drinks that I loved. Just thinking about coffee made me feel better in the cold outside. As we got closer to the cafe, my stomach started to hurt, and I started to breathe faster. My stomach didn't feel right. It felt like I had butterflies flying around in there. I know that coffee won't help with that feeling, but no one can talk me out of drinking more caffeine. When we got to the cafe, the smell of coffee beans filled the air. I close my eyes without thinking about it to take in the smell. The smell of this place is heavenly. Skyla and I walk up to the counter, and while we wait for the employee, who is probably in the back of the store, he tells me that his boyfriend and friend are sitting on the other side of the coffee house. I look in the direction Skyla is pointing and see the most beautiful man I've ever seen. He has this smooth black hair, or maybe it's dark brown. And his eyes. These two beautiful blue Jackson orbs are so pretty that I could look at them for hours. Is that strange? And don't even get me started on his body. I can tell he's built like a truck even though he's sitting down. His arms are very strong and probably bigger than my thighs. He has all the ceps, biceps, triceps, and more. And now this man, whose name I don't even know, is looking at me with a look that I've never seen before. I feel embarrassed and look down at the ground, where my shoes suddenly become very interesting. Hey, look! There is some dirt on my right shoe. When I get home, I should probably clean that. Skyla is tapping on my arm, which pulls me out of my thoughts. Hey! I say as I turn my head to see what he wants. He laughs and asks, "Are you going to order?" That's when I saw that the worker came out from the back of the store. I turn around and see Nico, a guy I trained with a few months ago and went to high school with. Kala. It's great to see you again. How's school going for you? I miss working with you, Nico says with that pretty boy smirk that usually works on girls. But now I don't want a boy, I want a man. Oh, my God! Where are these thoughts coming from? Hey, Nico. School's fine. How are you? I ask, not saying anything about missing me. I'm doing great. I just had football tryouts, so I hope I make the team. I remember that Nico played football in high school. I never went to any games because I was the girl who stayed home to study, or at least used studying as an excuse not to be social. I'm still a little shy, but I'm working on getting out of my comfort zone. Yeah, hope you do, I say, not sure what to say. He starts talking to me even though I don't know him very well. I think he's just trying to be nice. Can I get a vanilla latte for myself and caramel macchiato for him? I nod in Skylar's direction. Ooh. Do you also have blueberry scones? I ask, biting my lip in excitement. Nico says, "Oh, we don't have any made right now. I can start a batch right now." I turn around and see that a line is starting to form. That's fine. We'll just take the drinks. How much? I ask. On the house, Nico says with a smile. I was just about to tell Nico that he shouldn't do that at cafe when a low growl ripped through the room. I jump and look in the direction of the noise. I don't see a grizzly bear in the room, instead, I see a very broody looking. I don't even know his name, but I'm hoping that the really hot guy isn't Skylar's boyfriend. There is a guy with brown eyes and golden blonde hair across from Broody who is the same size and looks like him. When I first walked in, I didn't even see him. What the heck was that? I ask Skyla, who is scared by the noise. He says to me, it was just a motorcycle going by or something. It didn't sound like a motorcycle, but I guess that's what it is. I don't see any animals here. Come on, Kala. Let's sit down. Skyla picks up the coffee and takes me to the table where the other guys are already sitting. I laugh at what Skyla just said because Maisie always calls me that. They would probably get along very well. They both act like kids. The closer we get to the table, the more anxious I feel. This is what happens when I don't go out at all in high school and then have to deal with people. What if I can't think of anything to say? What if they don't like me or think I'm strange? Now I know that I have to sit next to one of the guys, not Skyla, because they are sitting across from each other. This just makes me more nervous. As we get closer, they both stand up to say hello, and oh my god, they are so tall. I'm only 5'2", Blondie is probably 6'2", and Broody is probably 6'4". I have to tilt my head up to look into their eyes. Skyla hugs Blondie and kisses him, I might add. I smile a little, thanking the heavens that Skyla is with Blondie and not with Broody. Broody is smirking at me, as if he knows what I'm thinking. I widen my eyes and look down at my coffee to keep myself busy. I grab it and sit down next to Broody while the other two sit down across from us. So, this is Kala, my friend from Psych. Kala, this is my boyfriend Ezra, Skyla says, pointing to Blondie. And that, Skyla says, nodding to Broody, is Jackson. It's a pleasure to meet you, Kala, Jackson says. His voice is deep and smooth, just like his looks. It makes my breath hitch, and when he reaches out his hand to me, I put my small hand in his big, calloused one. Sparks? That's the only way I can describe how my hand felt in his. A series of tingles spread down my arm and throughout my body, landing somewhere I'm too embarrassed to say. I swallow loudly, and to hide how awkward I feel, I clear my throat and say, "Same to you, Jackson." I really wanted to say his name to see how it rolled off my tongue. I love it. We keep staring at each other until Skyla basically yells, "So, it looks like you two are off to a great start." His comment brought me back to reality, and I quickly pulled my hand away from Jackson's grip, as if he had burned me. Jackson glares at Skyla and mumbles something that sounds a lot like "I'm going to kill you." I really tried to hold back my laughter, but it came out anyway, and Jackson looked at me in a way I couldn't describe. Maybe he was surprised that I found his actions funny. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at reading people. It looked like Jackson was about to ask me something when I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned to see Nico with a tray of blueberry scones. They smell amazing, and there's steam coming from the top, so I guess he just made them. "For you," Nico says, looking right at me. His hand is still on my shoulder, which makes me feel a little uneasy, and I find myself leaning toward Jackson. "Thanks," I mumble to Nico. I don't look him in the eye because I want him to leave, but he asks if there's anything he can do for me, and I get the feeling he's not just talking about being our server. "I'd take your hand off Kala before I have to do it for you," Jackson threatens. Nico takes his hand off right away because he's scared of Jackson. I would be scared, too, if Jackson were looking at me with his jaw and fingers clenched like he was ready to beat me up. Nico says something about seeing me later and then goes back to the counter. I can tell that Jackson is still looking at Nico with disgust and rage. I don't get why he's so mad. We just met, and Nico didn't do anything to me. He might have made me a little uncomfortable, but his hand was only on my shoulder. Jackson seems to be breathing heavily, and it looks like he will break his jaw if he tightens it any more. I don't know why, but I put my hand on his and smile at him shyly in the hopes that it will calm him down. Amazingly, that seems to work, and Jackson looks at me with an intensity I've never seen before. I pull my hand away when I see that Skyla and Ezra just saw the whole thing. Skyla is smirking at me, and Ezra has a soft smile on his face. I'm so embarrassed that I hide my face with my hair as I look down. Jackson pulls my face back toward him with 2 fingers on my chin and pushes my hair behind my ear with his other hand. Don't hide from me, Kala. And you look so cute when you blush, Jackson says, making me blush even more. He laughs at how I can't help but respond, then lets me go. I quickly grab my coffee and drink half of it to keep myself busy. Why do you all keep making me look bad? I say, half joking and half serious. What do you mean? Why did you do that? Jackson asks, clearly curious. I look at Skyla, who starts to laugh like he's the bad guy in a movie. Jackson glares at Skyla and leans forward. What did you do to her? He growls. Jackson, calm down, Ezra says. That's when I realized that this was the first time I'd heard him speak. He must not talk much, which makes sense since he's dating someone who is the opposite of him. Skyla laughs and says, I didn't do that much. Really? Are you kidding me? I ask with my mouth open. You made everyone in that class think I attacked you and wouldn't stop screaming. Then, in the middle of the lecture, you threw 20 pens at me and everyone looked at me again. They probably think I'm crazy. I yelled. When I was done with my little rant, I turned to Ezra and asked, how do you deal with him? Ezra smiled more as he turned to look at Skyla. You get used to it, he said, and then he kissed Skyla on the forehead. Skyla hugged Ezra and said, you love me. Yes, I do. We talked for 2 hours at cafe. We laughed, and I learned more about Skyla and his funny side. He said he was a bit of a prankster and had played some pretty mean pranks on them, his words, not mine. When I took out my phone, I saw that I had 2 missed calls from my mom and 5 texts. Crap, I said. What's wrong? Jackson asks right away. Oh, my mom has been trying to get in touch with me. 1 second, I said as I got up and went to the corners so I wouldn't bother them. Skyla was still laughing about one of his pranks, where he dyed Ezra's hair pink while he was sleeping. I called my mom back, and she picked up right away. Kala. Hey, Mom. Sorry I didn't get back to you, I'm at the cafe with Kala, where are you? I called you, but your class ended hours ago. You should have come back. Mom, I told you I'm at the cafe with some friends I made. My mom sighs on the phone. Okay, you didn't tell me and I was worried. You need to watch Maisie because I have to leave for work in an hour. Could you please come home now? I forgot you had to work today. Sure, I'll go over there now. Sorry. It's all right, sweetie. I'm happy that you're making new friends. Please let me know when so we can keep track of who is watching Maisie. Sounds good, I say, even though I know she can't see me. Love you. Love you too, sweetie. I hang up and slowly walk over to our table. Jackson is staring at me again. It seems like all he's done since I've been here is look at me. Not that I mind, because I've been doing the same thing to him, but at least there's a reason for my staring. He is literally the most attractive person on the planet. Every girl in the coffee house and some of the guys have been looking at him. He commands attention. I'm just a shy girl with average looks. I'm nothing special. Hey! Thanks again for inviting me, Skyla, I say as I pick up my backpack from the floor and put it on my shoulder. I have to go home now. I had a great time. Nice to meet you, Ezra and Jackson, I say as I nod to both of them. I wave to Jackson shyly and start to leave when I feel him grab my hand. How are you getting home? He asks, still holding my hand. I tell him, oh, I live kind of close, so I'm just going to walk. He stands up and picks up his coffee cup, which he hasn't thrown away yet, and says, nonsense, I'll drive you. You really don't have to. It's not too far to walk. And how will Ezra and Skyla get home? I'm driving you, that's the end of it. He says, I'll pick them up on the way back, as if it's an order. But what if they don't want to wait? Kala, Jackson says, looking me straight in the eyes. He touches my cheek with his hand and traces it with his thumb, which makes me feel even more tingly. Okay, I say. It sounds a lot more breathy than I meant it to, but I don't really have control around Jackson. He smiles so widely when I agree, and then he puts his hand on my lower back. See you later, Jackson says to Ezra and Skyla. I wave shyly at both of them. Goodbye, Kala. I get to spend all my time with Ezra now. Skyla says as he jumps onto Ezra's lap, making him say, "Humph." I laugh as I'm led out of the cafe, Jackson's hand warming my back from the cold. With Jackson right next to me, I barely notice how cold it is. As we walk to the parking lot, I silently hope Jackson doesn't have a motorcycle. Those things are so dangerous, and even though it would thrill me to ride one, I don't think I want to right now. Jackson takes a set of keys out of his pocket and clicks a button on them to unlock a matte black Tesla. Wow, that car looks expensive. Thank God it's a car. Jackson lets out a low rumble, which I quickly realize is him trying not to laugh. What's so funny? I ask, did I do something embarrassing? Is there something on my face? You're cute. What else would I be driving? Oh no. I said that out loud. Quick. Say something. Oh. I was just saying that I'm glad it's not a bike. You look like the kind of person who would ride a motorcycle. I don't mean to say you have a type or anything. You're just really tall, muscular, and good-looking, so I wouldn't be surprised if you rode one, I said all in one breath. Wow, I'm talking too much. When I'm nervous, I say dumb things that I should have kept to myself. But now he knows I think he's attractive. Well, of course he must know that. He has a mirror. Jackson throws his head back and laughs. You're so cute, he says next, which takes my breath away. Now he thinks I'm a freak. And motorcycles are dangerous, I would never let you ride one of those. And I'm speechless. What do you say to that? Jackson just smiles at me with his perfect pearly whites, and I swear I almost faint. He takes me to the passenger side of the car and opens the door for me. I thank him shyly, my confidence gone after he just complimented me. He must have been kidding. We drive home in comfortable silence, with the only talking being me telling him how to get to my house. We got there in just a few minutes. Thank you for the ride, Jackson, I say. I smile at him and open the car door to leave. He opens his door too and walks over to me. What are you up to? I chuckle nervously. Don't worry, sweetheart. I'm not going to stay. All I want to do is walk you to the door. He just called me love. I bet my cheeks are bright pink again. I try to hide my embarrassment by looking down, but Jackson won't let me. He cups my cheeks and lifts my face up to his. Don't hide from me. You never have to be embarrassed with me, he says. I can't believe I'm letting him touch me like this. When Nico had his hand on my shoulder, I was very uncomfortable. But now that Jackson is holding my hand and my head in his hands, I don't feel uncomfortable at all. In fact, it feels right. Why do I feel this way when I'm with you? I say it out loud without meaning to. As soon as I ask the question, I wish I hadn't. I probably scared him. Stupid Kala, think before you speak. So you feel it, too? Yes, he says, and my heart stops for a moment. Does he feel what I feel? This crazy attraction, this force that's pulling us together? It's crazy because I just met him 2 hours ago and already feel like I've known him forever. Just as I'm about to ask him about it, the door opens and my mom is already in her flight attendant clothes. There you are. Oh. When my mom sees Jackson, she says, that's when I realize where we are. We're very close, and Jackson has his hands on my cheeks. It looks like he's about to kiss me, so I jolt out of his hold and clear my throat while my cheeks burn. Hey, Mom. This is Jackson, I say to my mom. Well, Jackson, it's very nice to meet you. Do you go to school with Kala? Questions from my mom. No, ma'am. He says, I graduated last year, but I'm friends with one of her classmates. Did he graduate already? How old is he? Now that I look at him, I guess he does look older than me. But he can't be more than 23. I hope. Oh. Well, that's good. Hey, what did you stew? My sister screamed, Callie. You made it home. She says as she runs outside and jumps into my chest. If I hadn't caught her, she would have knocked me over like a bowling pin, which has happened, I'm afraid. Hey, Maisie. How are you doing? Did you have a good day? I had the best day ever. Today at daycare, we made Maisie stops talking when she sees Jackson standing next to me. I can tell when she sees him because her eyes get big and she hugs me tighter. She can be shy around new people, but once she gets to know you, she opens up. Kala, who is that big man? Maisie whispers, but since she's only 6, her voice sounds more like a raspy speaking voice than a whisper. Maisie, this is my new friend Jackson, I tell her. He's nice. Hi, Jackson, she says, a little shyly, but she does talk to him, which is a good sign. Hi, Maisie. Nice to meet you. Thanks. Maisie says, and Jackson says, I like your outfit. Justice gave Mommy the sparkly skirt. Well, you look cute in it, he says. I know I shouldn't care, but Jackson called me cute a few times in the cafe. Does he mean the same thing he does with Maisie? That I'm just a shy little girl he needs to be nice to? While Jackson talks to Maisie, I turn to look at my mom, who is still standing in the doorway and looking at the three of us. She mouths he's cute, and I angrily mouth Mom with wide eyes, hoping she won't embarrass me. But she's not the one I should be worried about embarrassing me. Jackson, Maisie says with more confidence. He hums and waits for Maisie to say something. Are you seeing Kala? I almost choke when Maisie asks him that. I look at Jackson and am about to tell him he doesn't have to stay and answer Maisie's questions when he says, hopefully one day. After Jackson's flirty comment and my extreme blushing, Jackson left to go pick up Ezra and Skyla from the coffee shop. My mom asked me a lot of questions about Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome, and I told her everything that happened that day. I told her that Skyla invited me to cafe to meet Ezra and Jackson. She was really interested in Jackson and wouldn't stop grinning at me when I said his name. She scares me sometimes. After she left for work, I took care of Maisie for the rest of the night. We played with dolls, ate dinner, colored, and then I put her to bed. She fell asleep by 9, and since I didn't have any homework yet, I decided to read a book. I was reading my book when Skyla texted me. I had just gotten to the part where the guy was confessing his undying love for the girl. Skyla, Calais. Help me. Me, haha, hey. What's going on? Skyla, I need your help, he's killing me. Me, who? Skyla calls me on FaceTime, and I can't believe how dramatic he is. My bun looks like a rat's nest on my head, but I shrug it off and answer the call. Thank God you picked up. Kala, he's making me go crazy. Skyla screams. At first, I jump, but then I turn down the volume on my phone so that Skyla doesn't wake up Maisie. Who is driving you crazy? I asked him. He had glasses on that I didn't know he wore, and his hair was curly and messy. He let out a loud sigh and fell down on his bed, which made him bounce up and down as the mattress held him up. Jackson. He keeps asking me about you. He says, dude, can I have her number? And I say, sure, here you go. Then he says, no, bro. I don't want to look like a creepy stalker, so I won't give you her number. But I want to talk to her. What should I do? Skylar's complaint shocks me. Jackson is thinking about me? And wants to talk to me? I can't help but smile, which Skyla notices. Ah! Check out your little smile. I cover my face with one of my hands so Skyla can't see the blush that is forming just thinking about Jackson. Skyla says in a fake, high-pitched voice, "Don't hide from me, Kala," making fun of what Jackson said to me in the coffee shop. This makes me mumble, "Oh my gosh," and close my eyes, hoping that Skyla will stop teasing me. He really knows how to humiliate me. I can't believe he brought that up. When I hear Ezra's voice on FaceTime, it sounds like my prayers were answered. Skyla, stop teasing her. What are you going to do about it? Skyla makes fun of Ezra, and I see Ezra whisper something in Skylar's ear. Skylar's eyes pop out of his head as he listens to Ezra, and I really don't want to know what he says. Skyla seems to be the one who is flustered now because he quickly says he has to go and will send me Jackson's number. 20 seconds later, Skyla sends me Jackson's number, and I'm looking at the contact that I've added to my phone as Broody. Should I call him? No, that's too forward, and what would I say? Skyla thinks Jackson wants to talk to me, but he could just be lying to make me feel better. It would be like Skyla to trick me into thinking Jackson is interested in me. But what if he really means it? Okay, I'm going to text him. It's nothing special, just a simple hey. I type a text to Jackson, delete it, and then type it again. This goes on for a full minute until I realize I need to do this for myself. I need to act like a normal teenage girl and text the boy already. Hey Jackson, it's Kala. Skyla gave me your number. I did it. Oh my gosh, I did it. What if he thinks I might stop any bad thoughts that come to mind because I see the 3 dots that show he's texting back? My heart races, and my palms get sweaty as I wait. I don't take my eyes off the screen, and when his text comes in, I smile right away. Broody, hi, sweetheart. How was the rest of your day? Me, it was pretty good. I just spent time with Maisie. How about you? Broody, I just went home after that. It wasn't as exciting as that 6-year-old. Me, yes. She's a lot of work, haha. After I send that text, I wait for Jackson to text me back. I'm disappointed when he doesn't respond after 5 minutes. When did this become me? The girl who gets upset when a guy doesn't text her back right away? I'm not going to sit around and wait for his response, so I take a quick shower, keeping the bathroom door slightly ajar so I can hear Maisie if she needs me. Then I brush my teeth, comb my hair, and pull out The Great Gatsby, my classic of the day. I've read this book at least 4 times and can probably quote some parts of it already. I read for 20 minutes, then checked my phone to see what time it was. I was shocked to see that I had 3 texts from Jackson from 30 minutes ago. Broody, sorry, I had to do something. Broody, I wasn't ignoring you. Broody, what are you doing now? I quickly unlock my phone and open my messages. My eyes are a little blurry because I'm tired from the day, but I can't go to sleep knowing I could be texting him. Me, I'm just reading The Great Gatsby again, haha. He answered right away. Broody, I've never read it. Is it really that good that you're reading it again? Me, are you kidding me? Yes. It looks like a love story on the outside, but underneath it all, there is passion, longing, and love. It's amazing. Sorry for the rant. Broody, haha, don't be sorry. It's cute. I'm so glad he's not here right now to see me blush. I can't stop smiling. I've never been this attracted to a guy before. I've seen attractive guys before, but none like Jackson and none that have looked at me twice. Also, Jackson is so sweet and flirty with me. Just thinking about him gives me butterflies, and I only met him today. I yawn and cover my mouth with my hand as I think this. I check my phone and see that it's 12:45 a.m. How did it get so late? Jackson sends me a text as if he knows what I'm thinking. Broody, you probably have class tomorrow, so I'll let you go. Can we talk tomorrow? Me, that would be great. Broody, good night, Angel. Me, good night. I turn off my phone and put it on charge. Then I walk over to my window and close the curtains. Before I do, I look outside and see the bushes moving in the wind on the other side of the street from my house. For a split second, I think I see an animal, but then it's gone and all I can see is plants. I close my curtains and set my alarm for the morning. My mom has to work overnight, so I have to get up early to take Maisie to school. I pull the covers over me and pull them as tight as I can until I'm wrapped up like a burrito. I'm always cold. I go to sleep with a smile on my face. All I can hear are my heart beating and my heavy breathing as I run. I run as fast as I can because my life depends on it. Well, my academic life. I overslept, and this is my first ethics class, so being late is even worse. I finally get to the lecture hall 2 minutes late. When I open the door, everyone turns to look at me like I'm that person who can't get to class on time. The professor even gives me a look before going back to talking. At least he didn't say anything. I think I would have exploded if he had. I chose to sit in the back of the room, and the only seat available was next to a guy with platinum blonde hair. He didn't seem to be paying much attention to the teacher. Instead, he was reading a small, old book on his lap. On the other side of me, a girl with black hair was chewing gum and drawing what looked like a rose. I sit down and cringe a little at how squeaky the chair is. Then I take out a new notebook and one of the 20 pens in my bag. I smile as I think of Skyla. I wanted to know what the teacher was talking about before I got there, so I asked the guy instead of the girl. She seems very interested in her drawing. Excuse me. I whisper to the guy, and he grumbles, "What?" without looking up. Sorry to bother you, I just wanted to know what the professor was talking about before I walked in, I whisper again. He sighs, puts a bookmark in his book, and then turns to face me. His eyebrows go up as if he wasn't expecting me to be talking to him. He says in a low voice, with a slight smile at how ironic my situation is. He was just talking about how attendance is required and how he hates being late. I realized I was late while he was talking about how much he hates it when students are late. Crap, I mumble more to myself than to him, but he laughs anyway. It's okay, it's the first day. He says, he won't remember that it's you, which makes me feel a little better. I smile at him and then go back to listening to the professor. The professor is talking about when assignments are due when the guy next to me gently nudges me with his elbow. I'm Felix, he says. Kala, I say, and he smiles. Nice to meet you, Kala. About 20 minutes into class, the teacher gave us an assignment. I only see you guys once a week, so a lot of your readings and assignments will be done online. We're going to start with a short writing task today. I know you haven't learned anything yet, but I want to see how you feel about right and wrong. Please answer honestly, this isn't graded. If you were walking alone in an empty parking lot and saw a wallet on the ground, what would you do? Would you take the wallet to the nearest building in the hopes of giving it back to its owner? Would you take the money out first and then give back the rest? Would you just leave it there and act like you never saw it? Write 1 or 2 paragraphs about what you would do. Later in the semester, we'll look at the different responses and see which way of thinking you all go back to. Go ahead and start. I start writing down my answer. It's clear what I would do. I would do my best to give the wallet back to its owner. It's their money and ID, not mine. I finish quickly and read it over. On my second reread, Felix takes the paper from my hands and starts reading it. Hey! Give it back! I complain, but he leans over with the paper so I can't get to it. He starts to laugh softly as he gives it back. There's no way that's what you would do. I scrunch my eyebrows in confusion. What do you mean? I would, of course, I say. Okay, but you wouldn't even want to look at the money inside? You said that even if they had hundreds of dollars in their wallet, you still wouldn't take anything. And I stand by that, I said. But what if I told you that you wouldn't get caught? No one would ever know that you were the one who took the money. Felix asked. It doesn't matter. I would know that the money I'm using is stolen. That's not right, and my conscience wouldn't let me do it. Felix says, well, you're a good person then. I would take some of the money. I'd still give it back, but who cares if the wallet has $400 instead of $600? No one would catch me. I'm still going to return the wallet, and I'd have $200 more. That's not right, Felix. What do your friends and family think of you? I ask him, and he looks me in the eyes. His dark brown eyes look almost black in the light. He blinks a few times, then looks away and says, they would do the same. Or worse. He laughs and says, not everyone is as innocent and pure as you are. I'm not innocent and pure. I say, a little louder than I thought I would, and a few people start to look at me. I shyly duck my head, which only makes Felix laugh at me more. Sure, he says quietly. We can leave after we turn in our answers. I pack my bag and walk out the door with 50 other students. I feel a little cramped in the crowd and let out a sigh of relief when I finally have my own space. A tap on my shoulder makes me jump out of my skin in surprise. I turn to see Felix with his hands up, trying to hide a smile. Sorry, Jumpy. Sorry if I scared you. Oh. I mumble, it's fine. So. Did you need something? That's right. I wanted to know if you maybe wanted to. Felix starts to say, but my phone rings. Sorry, 1 second, I say as I pull the phone out of my backpack and answer it after seeing Skylar's name at the top. Hey, I say into the phone. Hi, Kala. Do you want to hang out and eat with me? I was going to ask Ezra and Jackson to come over, but only if you're okay with it. Yes. I blurt out, not realizing that I must sound like a crazy, excited person. I mean, I would be okay with Jackson coming. Skyla laughs and says, and Ezra. Yes, and Ezra. Awesome. At 6, I'll come to get you at your house. Until then, Ezra and Jackson are busy. We can meet them at the eatery. I smile and say, sounds good. I have to go, Skyla, I say as I see Felix patiently waiting for me to finish my call. Bye, Kala. Dress cute, Skyla says before hanging up. I put my phone down and look at Felix. Sorry about that. Needy friend, I say, hoping that clears things up. He says, it's fine. Okay, I have to go. But I'll see you next week in ethics. I ask. He seems a little let down by what I said, but he nods his head and says goodbye quickly before going behind the building. I eat lunch quickly in one of the dining halls on campus before rushing off to psychology. Skyla is talking about where we should eat, what I should wear, and how I should do my hair the whole time I'm trying to pay attention to the lecture. I wasn't sure he was gay before, but I am now. Skyla drives me home after class, and I open my closet to see what I want to wear. That's when I realize that I'm not ready for this dinner at all. Honk honk. Okay. Give me a minute. I grumble, acting like Skyla could hear me from his car even though I'm still inside. Skyla is honking his horn while I run around my room, quickly spraying myself with perfume and grabbing my things. He just got here 2 minutes ago, and he won't stop honking at me. Sweetheart, your friend is here, my mom yells from the kitchen as if I didn't already know he was there. I quickly say goodbye to my mom and go down the stairs to the door. Wait. Kala, am I ever going to meet your friend? I hug my mom quickly and then sigh. Eventually. I have to go, though. He's 10 minutes late to pick me up, I say as I yell love you to my mom and Maisie and leave through the front door. I run out to Skylar's car and try to open the passenger door, but it stays locked. I pull again, but Skylar still doesn't open the door. I knock on the window to get his attention and say, Skylar. He rolls down the window and looks me up and down. Skyla opens the door on the driver's side and walks around the car while mumbling. What is he doing? We're running late. Skyla, we have to go. I don't want to keep them waiting, I say, and when Skyla finally gets close enough for me to hear him, he keeps saying, no. I scrunch up my eyebrows and throw my hands up. No, what? He turns to look at me and throws his hands up, pointing to my clothes. Not this outfit. Are you kidding me? Jeans and a t-shirt? No way. Are you going to dinner in that? Change. I look down at what I'm wearing and feel a little hurt that Skyla doesn't like it. I know it's not a big deal, but I thought we were just going out to eat. Skyla could see that I was sad, and right away his eyes softened. Kala, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. It's just that you really want to wear that on a double date. When he says that, I pull my head back and my heart starts to race. There's no way. This wasn't a date. I bite my lip hard as my mind races with all the things that could happen that night. All of them are about me making a fool of myself. Kala, calm down. You don't have to worry. It's a double date, so you won't be so nervous. I'll be there the whole time. If you feel uncomfortable or want to leave at any time, we'll make up an excuse and leave, okay?" His words help me relax a little. I know that Skyla really does care, even though my heart is still beating all over the place. "Now, let's go inside and pick out a outfit that will make Jackson want to have been with you right away." "Skyla!" I yell, my face turning red as I hit him in the shoulder with my purse. "Ow! You still haven't gotten over your anger issues, have you?" he says with a smirk, holding his shoulder as if he is hurt. I roll my eyes and go through the front door that my mom hasn't locked yet. My mom asks, "Honey, is everything okay?" and then stops in her tracks when she sees Skyla next to me. She didn't think I would be friends with one hot guy, but two? She must be really confused about where I'm getting my guy friends. "Oh, is this Skyla?" My mom smiles at me, then looks at him. Skyla agrees. "Hey, Ms. Dalton. I'd love to stay and talk, but we need to fix this outfit right now, and we're already late." "I have to go," he says as he walks up the stairs. I follow Skyla so he can't be in my room without me. It's hard to say what kind of trouble he can get into. My mom yells, "No boys behind closed doors." Skyla yells back, "I'm gay, Ms. Dalton." I put my hands over my face. I can't believe he said that to my mom. I can hear my mom laughing from the bottom of the stairs, so I know she thought Skyla was funny. Thank God. When we get to the top of the stairs, I tell Skyla to go down the hall and into my room. He opens my closet door right away and starts looking through my clothes in a hurry. No, maybe," he says, more to himself than to me. Finally, he finds a chestnut brown lace dress that has been in my closet for years. I really had forgotten about it until he took it out. He threw the dress at me and said, "Here, wear this." I barely caught it before it hit the ground. "Skyla, I can't wear this. The last time I wore this was in 10th grade before I hit puberty." "I can't," Skyla kept saying. Tick. Tock. Tick. Tock. This made me so stressed that I had to go to the bathroom and change quickly. I smiled at myself in the mirror. I looked good, but I wouldn't normally wear that. Maybe I should just put my jeans back on and tell Skyla I won't. Skyla banging on the bathroom door brings me back to reality. "Come on out, Kala. I know you're dressed." I slowly open the door and step out, looking down at the floor and fiddling with my fingers. Skylar's eyebrows go up, and a big smile spreads across his face. "Hey, I knew there was a hot body under all those layers you wear. Put these shoes on and let's get going." I didn't pay any attention to what Skyla said about my body and quickly put on the beige stroppy shoes. I look in the mirror one last time, and then I'm pulled down the stairs and past my mom, who also looks shocked at how I look. She gives me the creepy mom smile again and tells me to have fun and not rush home. Maisie hugs me quickly and says I look pretty. Then, when she sees Skyla, she hides behind my mom. I'll introduce the two of them properly another time. It only takes 5 minutes to get to the restaurant, and before I know it, Skyla parks his car. That's when the nerves start to show. I open the door to the car and nervously walk to the front door of the restaurant. Skyla smiles at me and says, "Don't be nervous, Kala. Jackson is going to freak out when he sees you." I don't believe Skyla for a second, but what he says gives me the little push I need to take a deep breath and go into the restaurant behind him. He walks past the hostess and toward the back of the restaurant. I follow him because he seems to know where he's going. He takes us to Jackson and Ezra, who stop talking when they hear us coming. Jackson's hair is styled just right, and he looks so good. He has on black slacks and a long-sleeved dark blue shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He has a black and silver Rolex on his wrist, which makes me a little nervous because I knew he had a fancy car, but the watch makes me think he has even more money than I thought. Will he act differently toward me when he finds out I don't have any money? The look Jackson gives me when he stands up to greet me makes me stop breathing for a moment. I feel like he's really studying me because his eyes are moving up and down my body. Normally, this kind of thing would bother me and make me feel more than uncomfortable, but with Jackson, it's kind of hot. Jesus Christ, he mumbles before clearing his throat. Kala, you look so beautiful. I smile shyly and tuck my hair behind my ear as I lower my head a little. Jackson lifts my head up with his fingers, which he has been doing a lot lately. You too. I mean, it's not beautiful. You look very, handsome, I say, hoping I can die in a hole because I'm so awkward. Jackson chuckles softly and then slides down in the booth, motioning for me to sit next to him. I look at Skyla with wide eyes, and she smiles back at me to make me feel better. I move down next to Jackson and sit down several times until I'm comfortable. Jackson watches me with a smile on his face the whole time. I don't know what I'm doing that makes him laugh. I'm sorry we're so late. I got held up, I say, not wanting to blame Skyla. I don't like that he made us 20 minutes late for dinner, but I know he was just being a good friend. Jackson smiles at me and says, "It's okay, I know who's to blame." He looks across the booth, and I follow his gaze to see that he's looking at Skyla with a knowing look. Skyla raises his hands. "Okay, it wasn't all my fault," Skyla says, looking back and forth between Ezra and Jackson. Honestly, the way he looks right now just proves that it is completely his fault. Kala had on a terrible outfit, and I fixed it. You're welcome. I know Skyla is just kidding, but a girl has to stand up for herself at some point. First of all, my outfit wasn't as you put it. It was a little too casual, but that's what happens when someone doesn't tell me where we're going. Second, you were late to begin with. So, like Jackson said, it's all your fault, I say. I lean back against the bench, cross my arms over my chest, and give Skyla the darkest glare I can. I was hoping for the scared looks I was afraid of, but instead, I got 3 laughs from the guys, which made me even more mad. Jackson bent down to talk to me in my ear. I'm sorry, but you look like a cute kitten like that. When I turn to face him, he has that smirk on his face that always shows up, and his eyes are shining as he looks at me. Oh, he says as he turns to Skyla, and his face suddenly loses all playfulness. Just to be clear, if you say anything bad about Kala again, I will rip your limbs off. I let out a little laugh, and when no one else does, I stare at Skylar's blank face. Skyla seems to be sweating a little, and his Adam's apple bobs as he swallows nervously. Ezra puts his arm around Skyla to protect him and glares at Jackson. There sure is a lot of glaring at this table for a joke. Jackson wouldn't really hurt Skyla, correct? The server was nice enough to come over and talk to everyone while he took our orders. Ezra and Jackson ordered Coronas, while Skyla ordered a Shirley Temple. I only asked for water. After the waiter left us alone to look over the menu, Jackson said to me, "You can get a drink. It doesn't matter what you want, the price doesn't matter." I smile at Jackson a little bit. "Thanks, but I'm okay with water," I say. He thinks I'm too sweet to order a drink because of the price. He was also right. I open the menu and start to read the choices. They have burgers, pasta, chicken tenders, and anything else you can think of because it's an American restaurant. I really don't know how to pick. When I see something move in front of me, my eyes dart around the pages. Yes, pages of the menu. Skyla is holding up his menus so that I can only see his eyes. He is widening them and pointing to Jackson. I raise my eyebrow and give him the what, with my eyes look expression. Skyla keeps looking at Jackson and then at me. I still don't know what he's trying to say. After 30 seconds of him making weird eye movements, Ezra comes in to save the day and mouths, "Talk to him," while looking at Jackson. It's my turn to open my eyes wide now. I look at Jackson, who is still looking at the menu without a care in the world. My heart races and my hands start to sweat. I know Skyla is trying to get me and someone else together, and for some reason I really like that. I know that Jackson and I will never be together, though. He is too good looking, sure of himself, and rich to live with someone whose family lives paycheck to paycheck. My looks and personality are pretty normal. But Jackson makes me feel something I've never felt before. I feel like I'm going to throw up, but I strangely trust him and want to get to know him better. He's not the arrogant, growly guy he shows the world. I decide that I need to be a woman and follow Skylar's advice. Have a conversation with him. How hard can this be? I clear my throat, and Jackson turns to look at me with interest right away. I say, as I tuck a strand of hair behind my ear. "Did you make up your mind about what you're ordering?" I ask. Very little stuttering. "Yes. Yeah, I'm getting 2 of the build-your-own burgers. I come here a lot, and I always get the same thing, but I feel like I have to look at the menu every time," he says with a laugh. I smile at him. "So, you're one of those people who stick to what they like?" "Yes, that's me," he says. "I don't think that's you." "No, I love trying new foods. What if I find something I like better than what I picked? I'll never know." "But," he says, "if you order something else and don't like it, you're stuck with it." "I guess," I say. "I've tried all the drinks at cafe at least twice. I'm unpredictable with my drinks, so I'll always keep you on your toes," I say with a laugh, and he smiles back at me. That's when I see the dimple in his right cheek, which makes him even more attractive. I swoon on the inside until he asks me something. "What are you going to eat?" I bite my lip and look at the menu, flipping through the pages. Jackson lightly touches my hand while I'm on the salad page. "Kala, order what you want." I was going to order a salad, but not because I want to look thin in front of Jackson or anything like that. I will eat a lot of food in front of other people and not be ashamed. Okay, I'll order what I really want if you promise not to make fun of me, I say, and he grips my hand tighter. I will never judge you. Not ever. Okay. I was going to get the same thing as you, but I always make a mess when I eat a burger. Jackson laughs, as do Ezra and Skyla, which reminds me that they are also at the table. I also laugh with them. No, I'm serious, Jackson. The ketchup gets everywhere, the tomato never stays on the bun for more than a few bites, and my hands get greasy. And don't forget about the onions that Jackson stops me by putting 2 fingers on my lips. His plan works to make me stop talking, but it doesn't help me slow down my thoughts. He's touching my mouth. He's touching my lips. He's touching my lips. Jackson's eyes get a little darker and he looks at my lips instead of my face, which makes me think he has the same thoughts as I do. He slowly moves his fingers down my lips, catching the bottom one just right and pulling it down before letting it go. Jackson suddenly takes a deep breath and starts to lean forward very slowly. The waiter comes back to take our orders after only a second of his trance. When I look at the waiter, Jackson groans, and Ezra smirks and whispers something into Skylar's ear, which makes Skyla laugh. The conversation starts up again after we all order. I should say that I was the only normal person in the group who ordered 1 burger. It's crazy that all the guys ordered 2 burgers and 6 sides for us to share. Skyla and I talked about school, and Jackson talked about his time in college. I found out that he studied business and graduated in 3 years instead of 4. His father gave him the family business, and he used his degree to help him run it. He told me that his dad died a few years ago. He looks like he's been through hell. If it were my mom who died, I would be. After that, the mood got better, and before I knew it, the food was ready. While all the guys eat, I can't stop staring at the huge burger in front of me. Are you going to eat, babe? Jackson asks. Yeah. I just, don't know how to. Jackson looks at me in the strangest way, like he's really confused but still trying to figure out what I'm saying. I make it clear that it's huge. Skyla says, just grab it with your hands, Kala, as he takes a bite out of his burger that is too big for a person. Okay, well I don't have monster hands like you all do, so it's not going to be graceful by any means, I grumble under my breath. I think they all heard me because they all smiled. I can already feel the grease getting on my fingers as I grab the big burger. This is exactly how I like it. I open my mouth as wide as I can and try to bite into the burger, but my mouth doesn't even reach all the way around it. I bite down anyway, and ketchup starts to drip out of the other side of the burger and onto my plate. Look! I say, pointing with my eyes to the mess I've made with just 1 bite. We all eat our food in peace and quiet because we all love the great meal. I eat half of my burger and a handful of fries before I'm full while the boys eat their double orders and the sides. Jackson wipes his hands on his napkin, looks at me, and then at my plate. When he sees the total and complete mess on my plate, his head spins. My burger's bun fell off, and the different sauces were all over my plate in a messy way. It looks like an animal, not a girl, ate the burger. I told you. I tease Jackson and push his shoulder lightly. Skyla laughs, pfft, and you call us monsters. Look at you. What did you do to that poor burger? Okay, do you see these hands? I ask Skyla as I hold up my small hands. I can't hold the whole burger, so things fall out. It's not my fault. I complain. Jackson takes one of my hands and holds it in his. His big, rough hand covers my small one completely. He mumbles, "I like your small hands." His words make me blush. His hands are so attractive. They are very large and warm. And strong. Is that real? Strong hands? I guess it's a thing. But since you like trying new foods, maybe you can eat something on our next date that doesn't kill it, he says with a small smile. Skyla goes crazy after hearing that. Half of the people in the restaurant come over to hear him laugh, which makes Ezra laugh loudly too. Ezra, who is usually quiet and reserved, is laughing out loud at me. I make my face look angry and take my hand off of his. Then I cross my arms. I try to give him a dirty look, but Jackson's smile just gets bigger. That makes me think of what he said, that I look like a cute kitten when I glare at him. That just makes me more angry. Stop the presses. Jackson Rowan just told a joke. Skyla yells. Oh my god, this will go down in history, people. Shut up, Jackson says. The waiter comes to take our plates away a little while later. He looks at the mess on my plate twice, but Jackson growls softly, and the waiter doesn't say anything. Instead, he cleans the table. The waiter comes back with dessert menus, and even though I'm not hungry, I still look at them. Jackson asks me, I thought you said you were full. Tisk tisk tisk. Jackson, do I have to teach you everything? I ask. Okay, I'm going to teach you about the body. I move back a little on the bench so Jackson can see my stomach area. This is important, especially for you, Skyla, since you're pre-med, I said, pointing to Ezra and Skyla. I point to different parts of my body and say their names. Here are the ribs, then the small intestine, then the large intestine, and finally the stomach. I then point to a spot just below my stomach. And this is the dessert stomach. It's a little bit bigger than the regular stomach, but no real food is allowed in it. Only sweets. So I'm full, but my dessert stomach is still ready for dessert. Skyla laughs at me again. Skyla can't go more than a minute without laughing at something, I don't think. Jackson shakes his head at me, then suddenly grabs my hips and moves me so that I'm almost sitting in his lap on the bench. I scream when he suddenly moves, and my hands quickly go to his chest to steady myself. When I touch him, I can feel the muscles in his chest tighten a little. I can see every single eyelash on his face and the different shades of blue and Jackson in his eyes. Our noses are almost touching. He mumbles, "What am I going to do with you?" I've never been in a situation like this with a guy before. I really want to kiss him, but I know I won't have the guts to do it. He has to kiss me first if we ever do. I know I'm too shy to do anything. The longer we look at each other and stay close, the more tension there is. If he just tilted his head up a little bit, the waiter asks, "Have you guys decided on a dessert for tonight?" without knowing what we were doing. I jump in surprise, but then I remember where I am right away. I was in a busy restaurant with another couple across the table from me, and I was going to kiss someone. What's wrong with me? I quickly and awkwardly got off of Jackson's lap and went back to the bench to get some space from him. His jaw tightens right away, and he glares at the waiter, who starts to shake in his boots because he knows how angry he is. Ezra says, "We're still thinking," but he doesn't seem to be able to look away from Jackson. The waiter hurries off to give us more time, and our table is quiet again. Skyla seems to find the situation funny. Ezra seems to be paying attention to Jackson and making sure he doesn't attack our waiter, and Jackson seems to be really angry. I don't understand what that means. What made him so mad? I guess my nickname, Broody, was pretty close. When my phone rings, I jump in surprise for the second time in 10 seconds. I see that my mom is calling. When I answer the phone, I say, "Sorry, guys, I have to take this." It's my mom. "Hey, Mom, I'm still out to dinner. Is everything okay?" "Hey, honey. I'm sorry to call you, but I thought you might be on your way home soon," she said. I can hear Maisie crying loudly in the background while I'm talking, which makes me tense up right away. "Oh my God, Mom! Is Maisie okay? Why is she crying? Is she hurt?" I start to freak out. What if she really hurt herself? She's just 6. The guys are all paying attention to me and are ready for my sudden panic. "No, sweetie, she's fine. Just enjoy your dinner, and hopefully, Maisie will have calmed down by then." I sigh in relief, but my calmness doesn't last long because Maisie's cries only seem to get louder as time goes on. "Mom, tell me what's going on." "Maisie doesn't usually act like this," I say. My mom sighs on the phone and finally tells me what's wrong. "I was playing with Maisie and her dolls before bed. We were in your room because the dolls were there last time we played. Maisie bumped into your dresser while holding one of the dolls and knocked over one of your snow globes. It broke on the floor. Maisie is fine, but she thinks you'll be mad at her. I've tried to calm her down, but she's been crying for 30 minutes. Okay, I'm on my way. Tell her I'm coming and that I'm not mad at her." "Okay, sweetie. I'm sorry to ruin your dinner." "I didn't know, Mom, it's fine," I say to her. "We were almost done anyway. I'll see you soon." I turn to Jackson after I hang up with my mom. "Hey, I'm sorry, but I have to go home. Maisie needs me right now," I say to Skyla. "Can you please take me home now? I'll make it up to you." "I'll drop you off," Jackson says as he tries to get out of the booth. But I'm still in his way. "Oh," I say, shocked. "Are you sure? I don't want to ruin your night." "I'm sure." Jackson pulls $200 bills out of his pocket and puts them on the table. Then he tells me to stand up. I get a little shocked by the amount, but I still get up and leave the booth. Jackson stands up next to me, which makes me remember how tall he is again. My head only goes up to his chest. After saying goodbye to Skyla and Ezra, I go to Jackson's Tesla. He opens the door for me, gets in the car, and then drives toward my house. I hope Jackson isn't too scared of how Maisie is doing. We get to my house in less than 10 minutes, and I quickly unbuckle my seatbelt and get out of the car. Jackson stays close behind me, and my mom opens the door for me before I get to it. "Hi, Mom," I say. She smiles at me gratefully and opens the door even wider so I can come in. Her smile gets even bigger when she sees Jackson. Maisie starts crying again, so my mom says she'll go check on her and leave us alone on the front porch. "So, I had fun tonight," I say quietly, almost in a whisper. I don't understand how talking to someone can be so easy and so hard at the same time. I had to tell Jackson how I felt, but I was still very nervous around him. He smiled at me and said, "I had fun tonight, too." At that moment, I completely forgot where I was. I forgot that Maisie was crying in the house. I forgot that my mom was just on the other side of the door. I forgot that I was outside my house in the dark with a guy I had only met a few times. I forgot everything because it didn't really matter. I was here with Jackson, who has become very important to me in the short time I've known him. "Sorry, we didn't get dessert." I scratched my head and looked down for a second before remembering that Jackson doesn't like it when I look down. I looked up and saw that Jackson's eyes were on mine. "It's time for the butterflies." "It's fine. That just means we have to go out for dessert another day. Another time," I asked while playing with the hem of my dress. "Yeah. Date number 2, he said with a smile, which made me blush even more. At this point, my cheeks probably looked like 2 tomatoes. I had no idea that one person could have this much of an effect on me. This is terrible. I like him a lot more than he likes me. I can't get enough of what he says. I'm scared that I'll get even more attached now that we're going on another date. When he gets bored with me, I'll be heartbroken." "Hey," Jackson whispers and takes my hands in his. His big hands stop mine from moving. That's when I realized that the crescent marks on my skin were from pressing my fingernails into my palms. He asked softly, "What's wrong? What are you thinking?" But I could still tell that he was in a hurry. I was about to say something when Maisie's loud cry came through the front door. "I'm sorry, I have to go take care of her." I pulled my hands away from his, even though I didn't want to, and started to walk toward the front door, which was still open. I turned the handle and was about to say goodbye when I saw Jackson standing right behind me. I let out a squeal of surprise. "Oh my, what are you doing?" Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.